Hey, Howard, I wanted to just ask your advice one last thing. My wife and I are expecting our first child, a boy, in May, and I just wanted to know if you had any advice for a soon-to-be father.
But, I mean, everyone tells you prepare to have your whole life change, but it really is true. It totally changes. I mean, you're used to walking out the door. You don't walk out the door anymore. You've got a whole fucking.
It's a circus.
If you have a weekly poker game or a softball game, prepare to not do it anymore.
Yeah, right. Like all the things that you like. Prepare to go against nature and become a babysitter. Guys are just so guys like the first week the kid's home and it's fun.
And that's fun.
It's like getting the new iPad. You know, you're holding it, even changing a diaper. Everything's a challenge. And then you get into
this continues.
It goes on for 30. 40 years.
The other thing I find that's really funny is women. There are some women who would be like, I'm not going to be that woman. So you keep going to that poker game and you keep going to that softball game. And then about 6 months in, they go, stay the fuck home.
Right. Yeah, because they're exhausted. It's the hardest job in the world. But, you know, here's the advice I'll give you. And this is positive advice.
Okay.
You got to remember your mission. What
is the mission?
Okay. The mission is that you're contributing to the world. Mm-hmm. You're actually responsible. I mean, you're going to die someday. You're responsible for bringing someone into this world and hopefully turning them into that person that will go on and make the world better. I mean, think about how
most people are not following that mission, huh?
Well, that is the mission. I
don't think there's 5 people following that mission.
I mean, our whole reason for being here is to train those people to take over and to become strong individuals, teach them how to fly away from home and leave the nest. Do you know there was an article in the New York Times recently how many parents are going bankrupt because they can't get their kids to leave the nest, and they feel so bad that they're paying for them. But there are people who want.
I just saw a statistic that said 10% of parents are kicking into their children's upkeep all the time.
Yes.
Only, 54% of 18 to 24-year-olds have jobs.
Yeah.
And 30% are still at home.
And these aren't rich people. These are people who really are trying to make ends meet, and their kids won't leave the house. The kids
won't leave.
They won't leave. And the parents won't say to them, you got to do tough love. You're done.
Well, they didn't follow the mission. That's what I'm saying.
Did not.
But wait a second. If you have a 24-year-old kid who you love, and they went to college, and they can't find a job, how do you tell them to leave?
You know what you do? You say to them, look, it's now time. You're on your own. You know, if you need some counseling, we'll get it for you.
But I don't have a job, Mom. I can't get a job.
Well,
I think you messed up before 24.
Right. Yeah. They should want to get the fuck out of the house, even if it means, shining shoes. Whatever it is, they're too comfortable at home. And you know what? At the end of the day, that kid doesn't feel good about themselves.
Well, I disagree. I think there's a lot of kids who have no problem staying at home.
Yeah, believe me, they do. You think their self-esteem is high, you're crazy. Listen, what is the story of all our lives? You walk around, you go, when I was 16, I washed dishes. Then you go, when I was 21, I got my first job in radio. Boy, did I suck. Or, you go, oh, man, I remember living in Detroit. I had to go all the way there for a job. These are the battle scars. These are the things that define you as a person, not just work, but everything that you do on your own. When you don't have that, you have nothing.
What do you think comes of, I was still at home at 30?
Depression, sadness. You know what it's like? And believe me, I struggle with this. There's so many things I give up on in my life. I go, I can't do that. If everything in your life is that way, you become completely enmeshed in depression because you literally can't tie your own shoes.
And when your parents allow that, aren't they saying, we don't believe you can do it either?
That's right. And the parents don't understand that. They just go, I love my kid. I have to, I got to make sure he's okay or she's okay. No, you don't love your kid because your kid's suffering. And people don't understand this. I'll just pay. They'll live with me. No. The kid is suffering. The kid might as well be in a wheelchair. They feel crippled inside. One thing you can't hide when you're crippled inside, you know the song. Well, it's the truth. When you're crippled inside, the whole world sees it. And you feel bad for those people. when they lose faith in themselves and they lose direction. So, John, you've got a big job ahead of you, but realize how awesome that responsibility is.
Yeah, we're in the home stretch.
Okay, man. Good luck.
No, you're not.
You're at the very beginning. You haven't even started yet.
So we're on the home stretch of the pregnancy, 32 weeks.
The greatest thing about the pregnancy is you go, oh, it's not so
I'm
bad.
enjoying my last weeks of freedom. That's what I'm doing.
Especially for a guy. You go, I got this under control. And then that baby comes.
There was nothing greater than the period after you get pregnant, before they get big, when you can have sex and not worry about getting pregnant.
Yeah, that free sex.
Right.
A 2-month period.
Yeah, and you know what? This is going to be a real test of your relationship, because I think more divorces are caused by people being two completely different types of parents. You've got some parents who are complete fucking jack-offs and assholes and don't understand the mission.
Well, the way you defined it, I don't think anybody understands the mission, Howard.
Gary and Mary do. Gary and Mary do. I bet your Fred does. I think there's a lot of good parents.
Fred might understand.
The pregnancy was the easiest part.
Yeah, but that mission of creating a good world citizen, I don't think most people are on that mission.
You better get it quick.
Yeah, because let me tell you.
Most people are on creating a good family member.
You're right. I see a lot of that.
Most divorces are caused because before you have a kid, it's all theoretical. You'll look at your partner and you'll go, geez, this is the perfect person to be the father of my child or the mother of my child. And then the real test comes. And it's not a question of intelligence. It's a question of emotional stability. Do you and your wife, are you emotionally stable enough to, A, not bring your shit to that kid, to B, to be willing to let them fly on their own, to figure things out on their own, and when the time comes, to help them get out of the nest?
You know what? Sometimes a bad parent is a better parent. I couldn't wait to get out. I was like, kick me out, please.
Turns out what your father did to you was helpful. No, but in all seriousness, no, they cause a lot of problems for you.
But I got out of that damn nest.
You're goddamn right. If you did it, you would have been dead. Or insane.
I was like, where's the door?
But no, there's a whole thing that goes on with all of this. But a lot of divorces are caused over arguments over the kids.
Well, I think there's something called parenting styles.
Yes.
And if you aren't of the same basic style, it can be hell.
Right.
Because you're always on different pages.
That's why when a guy picks a mate or a woman picks a mate, they, they're looking at hot, he's fun, he's funny. They're looking at all the wrong things. He's entertaining. You got to look at one thing. Is that dude going to be a parent that is responsible and not just a burden like another kid?
And you have to look at him around kids.
That's right. All right, John, I hope that's
testing out everything.
At this point, you should want to jump out the window.
I got 1 foot out.
All right, later.